YOLO, my fellow human beings, and welcome to episode 38 of The Best Blessed Life. I'm your best host, Kristen, and today's topic is what I want to be when I grow up. Before we get started, I want to thank you all for watching. Please continue to watch, comment, share, like, subscribe, ring the bell, and please pass them on to anyone you think that they can help. With that being said, we have our challenges, our workout savings account, our 21 days of gratefulness, our eliminate a bad and or add a good habit. I think I said that wrong the last time. And evaluate and stretch. Check those out. I don't want to spend a lot of time on them. I do, but I don't. I know that doesn't make sense, but in the general scheme of things, I want to get into what we're going to be talking about. So the positive word of the day today is transition. The process or a period of changing from one state or condition to another. So this is where we come into the whole what do I want to be when I grow up concept. I feel like I'm in a transition now. I know I've kind of started it myself, but I also felt, I almost dropped the whole thing. Yes, I'm still working on it. Trust me. It's not an easy process, and when you don't write down all the variables all the time, it makes it even harder. So I'm just going to be doing this while I'm talking to you because it just prevents me from using my hands for things that I don't need to be using them for. I don't know. But I'm in this transition now. I feel like a lot of people are because of the pandemic. I know I've told you a few times that even before the pandemic, I felt my career choice was kind of going in a different direction. I felt like I should be more of a full service kind of thing. Not just about the body, but it's about the mind. And it's been about the mind since I've been personal training, don't get me wrong. I have always trained the brain and the balance. Those are two key things. And if you're not doing those two things, especially if you're getting older, I mean, we're all getting older, get me wrong. But especially if you are getting up in years and you've noticed that as you bend over or bend forward, that you are feeling a little like you're going to fall over, it could be time to check your balance. And it's just something that goes along with that whole evaluate and stretch challenge. It's just making sure you're keeping your body in alignment, you're keeping your core nice and tight, you're taking care of yourself, you know better than anyone what's going on in there. So to get it taken care of, whatever it may be, is like a transition also, Transitions have many forms, as we all know from the definition. It has this ability to make you do several different moves at the same time and not even realize what you're doing. At least I feel like that's what's happening. I keep working, I keep striving, I keep trying. I'm going to make it happen. It's not a question of if. I might be dead when it happens, but it will happen. I know the business concept is good. I know the only really thing I need is money, and I'm figuring out a way to do that. So I've got everything out. I've got all my, what do I want to say? I feel like I'm paying more attention to emotional responses to things, the way people treat you in certain situations. Are they including you or excluding you? Because of what? But here's the thing. transitions are very personal, and to explain it to somebody else, probably it doesn't make any sense. And I don't know. I try to observe other people. I try to understand what they're going through. But I also know that a lot of people don't put everything out there. I don't like to wear my pain on my face every day. And I don't know. Maybe people take that personally. It had nothing to do with you. So, there, I guess. But I digress. The whole purpose behind this was because it was episode 38. And I originally thought I knew what I was going to be when I grew up, when I turned 38. 20 years after most people are have already thought about going to school for something and, you know, worked at that or done that or whatever for 20 years. Well, not 20 quite, but... So to say I knew what I was going to be when I grew up at 18 is absolutely false. And to think at 18 that I would become a personal trainer is even more bizarre, because I had no interest in exercise. I shouldn't say no, because when I was probably 20-ish, maybe a little bit younger, 19, 20-ish, I was trying to become a bodybuilder. So I didn't work out, trust me. I had no clue what I was doing. So I tried and attempted stuff like that for a very long time, because I always looked at sports and things like that scientifically. I never really... I don't know. I follow it for the wins and losses, of course, but I also follow just any team that I can figure out the mechanics of. Because I like details. I don't personally like doing the details myself. I don't know, but I like observing details. I guess I like overly observe things. So to say that I can see when things are happening or not happening, I'm not saying I have any magical powers. I'm just saying I can determine things. They're not assumptions. But some things are just trial and error. So, you know, working or starting a business and getting things solidified, definitely a lot more work than I thought. I knew I was going to be busy. I knew that I was going to have a lot to figure out. It would be better if I could really get this crushed up a little more. So I'm trying to figure out what's a better way to do that. But to say transitions are not acknowledged is probably a pretty accurate statement. I feel like a lot of times when we transition from high school to college, it's just a given. It's not something you go, oh my gosh, okay, this is what's happening to me. This is how I feel about things. I asked my daughter, like, do you talk to your friends about, like, really deep and meaningful things? And then I'm trying to think back, did I really talk about deep and meaningful things with my friends? And I would say, yeah, probably. I did a good deal of talk. Believe it or not, I'm a talker. If you know me well, and I know you well, and I am... Oh, I got a spider friend hanging from the ceiling. And I am comfortable with you, and know that I am with a kindred spirit. All right, buddy. You gotta move. He's like right here. I was a really big... Uh-oh. Oh, there you are. It's right here now. He's coming. I was a really big talker when I was little. younger, little, whatever you want to say. I mean, I'm not very big, so saying little. But I find as I get older, and I've said this before in other videos, that I get tired of speaking. I get tired of trying to be... Oh, here he is, right here. Here he is. Just don't land in my stuff, buddy, and we'll have no problems whatsoever. I feel like I'm more in tune with nature and animals and I don't know. There's this definite I don't know if you'd call it awakening. This is so weird. He's just hanging right here. Oh, go back up, bud. There he goes. Bye bye. Just wanted to be on camera for a second. But I don't know. Awakening seems like so trivial now because it seems like it's been overused. But there's definitely been this perception of I don't want to say wisdom because that makes me sound like I think I'm super duper smart. Hold on a second. I gotta grab another bowl here. But I don't think that I have this innate ability to feel or hear or say things that other people don't hear or see or think. I can't be the only one thinking the same things like this, and I don't know how to describe it. So transition seems to be the word of the day. What I'm going to say as far as this episode being 38 and me transitioning from working retail. I worked retail for, oh golly, too long. I was in the retail industry from the age of 16 when I got a Christmas job at the Gap to till I had Jordan, which was 1999, and I was 30, and then I stayed home for a little while, and then I went back to work in retail and knew that just was not for me. I have been that didn't work either. All right. Some things I'm trying now. I'm really trying to figure out the best way to go about this, and of course it's not coming to fruition like I was hoping. I was trying to do this without using a blender or mixer. I was trying to get it all worked out by hand and then have these things pre-made so that, you know, you're not waiting. Maybe the bigger bowl is going to help me get it all cut up better. But there's things you have to learn on your own, and it's weird because I don't want, what do I want to say? I don't want to be bossy and just say, listen to me, believe me, tell me what you're doing because I've done that, I've been there. I wanted to prevent, you know, whatever. And let's face it. Now, for one thing, this seems awfully dry. Why? That's my problem. I've been doing half batches of things, so I don't waste a lot of ingredients. And I'm trying to decide if I did the half batch thing for the whole thing or if I messed up. Up. So it's either because it's drier today or because my dough's just not coming together. Alright, so my other issue was like I felt like they were dry even when they came together. So I feel like I was going to add more oil. And the variables change based on like, are your ingredients cold? Are they hot? Are they blended? Are they... This Liz. It's so hard to get back on. What are we doing? You know, what am I doing? I say to myself every day, what are you doing? I apparently don't know. And now that I've added it in one big chunk. Getting hot out too. That's the other thing. The weather has definitely played a major part of this whole pay attention. Pay attention. I just feel like I'm being told, pay attention. I'm like, God, I'm paying attention. I don't know what I'm paying attention to though. I don't know. I'm definitely a true believer in the sign situation. Like, you are being directed where to go, and I'm not sure you're really, you know, looking at all the signs. Pay attention to what your body is telling you. I'm going to tell you, your body reacts to so many different things that you don't even realize that affect the way you eat, the way you process your food, your whole digestive system, the way it comes out, the way you sleep, the way you hear, the way you see. I'm telling you, it affects your whole system. Stress is a killer, and we know this. It can cause heart attacks and strokes, just like smoking. And now that we're sitting more, I don't know that we're acknowledging what's happening to our bodies now that we're sitting more. Our posture is becoming, and I'm just as guilty, don't get me wrong, but I try to do the evaluate and stretch as much as possible throughout the day, and I'll notice when I'm standing in certain positions that I put more pressure on my left foot than my right. I don't know. It's just a very, very interesting time right now. And I think if we just acknowledged our body's warning signs for one, and just the way our body reacts to certain situations is another. And it is a true, if you're a believer in signs, true signs that you need to find a different way to handle your business. And I'm one of those people. I'm a very high stress, I'm overly aware of things. Trust me when I tell you. I am completely overly aware of things. I sense things. My vision and hearing is overly sensitive, I feel like. And come on, there we go. It's gonna stuck to the bottom. I don't know. We just need to acknowledge things, right, that are happening with our systems. Now, I definitely would not be able to use this process, hand process, for a more mass-produced product because, come on, I've been doing this for how long now? 19 minutes, pretty much, on and off. But that added extra, let me put this away before bit of oil that I put in seems to, I'm hoping will lighten it up too, because I know for a fact it was pretty dense. I need it to be a little bit lighter only because I want them to cook a little bit faster and not be doughy in the middle. So, that's where we are in this whole process. But you find that your system of doing things changes as you get older. So there's a transition there too. Or there's the things you can't do anymore because you're getting older. You know, I don't know if 50 was a game changer for me so much as like 51 and 52. Well, I'm not 52 yet, but it's coming. Happy birthday to my daughter who turns 19 on Sunday. Yoy. 19. Ugh. Come on. Where did the time go? I didn't look to see my buddies. Oh, he's on my phone! That's so funny. I just went to see if the spider was still hanging, and he's sitting on my phone. I wish I could take a picture of it. But, oh my gosh. So, as I'm preparing these, or researching this whole process, or testing, experimenting, I'm taking not only bits of information for the actual recipe itself, but I also feel like I'm learning things along the way about how I would handle this whole process if this business did finally, not if, when this business finally comes to fruition, like, what is my day going to be like, you know? And I cannot spend a whole day just doing this. So, I mean, I realize it hasn't been all day. But I also feel like I can pre-prep some of this and have them, hopefully, I would freeze them for a day maybe, but that's about it. And I'm going to see if the freezing process applies here. I think we tried fridge too, and I'm just not sure where I stand, if it changed anything. So if I can freeze them for at least a day and make them a day ahead of time, and then start making them before we open so that the first batch is like warm, but and then once you get them started, I think you just not custom make them, but I mean make them for the made to order. I couldn't think of the word. All right, so I think that's about as good as this is going to get. And again, the experimentation is that I'm trying to figure out the best quality products, the best way to do it, and the cheapest, not cheapest, but the most inexpensive way, and still have time, because time management is very important. Oh, you know the one thing I forgot, which I forgot last time, and then I realized I really, really liked it in there, was like vanilla, but I'm going to measure it this time because I just poured a little dollop in at the end. I don't know if you remember. I made a bunch, and then I remembered that I wanted to put some vanilla in there. So then I added the vanilla at the end, but then I didn't make them until I froze them. I'm going to do half now. Let's see. I just need that little element of vanilla in there, because I feel like it adds the sweetness to it without adding sweetness, actual calories. So that's the thought process there. And now let's see what kind of monstrosity we've created. I definitely like how refined it's getting. I don't know if I like as much texture as it has right now, which is what is going to be the issue going forward, is texture. And if pulsating it is too much, that's the other thing. Do I want it like ground up? Who knows? But I find that doing this while I'm talking to you definitely makes me focus on what I'm saying, and like even standing here like doing this process, I feel like I'm learning some things. what happens, what reactions you get. I'm a tactile learner, and I think that's probably why my kids are. Because I've always needed to like hands-on learn, and I thank God for teachers and students who can take on online classes for the past. I've been a personal trainer for 13 years. It was 13 years in March. So, I am not a fan of the online learning. You don't have this, this has nothing to do with the way the kids were taught now, because I know they had the support they needed. But I'm saying to you is when you take an online course and that's what you're expecting to take as an online course, and they just give you the material and go, here? I mean, you have videos to watch and you can contact people. I don't know, guys, this is still pretty dry and I can't figure out why. Let's see what happens when it can go together. Alright, well, it can go together. It's pretty dense though still. Alright, well, do I cut them in half? Oy vey! Where's my other thing? There we go. I feel like this one might be too small. Alright, so let's see. Alright, well. I guess I'm gonna just set these up for now and see what happens, because I'm not gonna know until I cook them what happens to them. I don't like the color of them so far. It's not very, I don't know, conducive to what I'm trying to do, but we shall see. I'm gonna make a couple of each kind or size, however you want to look at it. Yeah. And then try in different variables, like, do I freeze them? Do I just need to refrigerate them? Do I not need to do anything? I think I do, because I really want the oils in it to reset. So I really feel like that's important. That's my goal anyway. But I also want them to be different. I don't want them to look like something you can get anywhere else either. So there you go. That helps you at all. So yeah, transitions are painful. Let me tell you, very painful. Transitions can tell you a lot about other people too, not just about yourself. But I feel like the focus should be on you and what you need to fix in your own life, or I don't know. I feel like we all have a transitional period. We just have it at different times. And some choose to acknowledge it, and some just... I'm not saying anything about life that a lot of people don't already know. I'm just saying to you, in my experience, the transition usually ends up being something that comes out as a new either experience or new job. We'll see. But it's intense, and it's a lot to take in at once, and a lot of times you can't absorb everything that's happening to you at the moment, or that like a lot of times people don't even know the transition is happening, and I hate to keep calling it that, but I don't know what else to say about it except that you learn a lot about yourself, I feel like. And that is when you're sitting in a room by yourself and you're acknowledging things about your life, things about your kids' lives, and you realize, I am not perfect. I never said I was. But neither are you. So this transition at 30, back to what I'm talking about. So this transition at 38 was pretty monumental, I think. God, my fridge is so dirty. And I probably should cover those up. So, but I'll tell you, the transition for that was a lot of working. So that was looking for a job that was going to hire someone and train them to be a personal trainer. Because at the time I couldn't afford to take personal training. It was like $800 or something. And I couldn't afford to, because we had, it's 2008, both kids, school, you know, and I really wanted to work, but I didn't want it to be retail again. So, and I had been doing fitness pretty much since I had my daughter, because I saw a couple of pictures of myself after having her. And actually after having my son, with my son I gained 60 pounds. And then didn't lose it all. I only lost about 30 of it. And then my daughter came along and I gained 30 again. Not again. Gained the other 30 back. And then, so then I didn't lose the 30 that I lost with Jordan. So I just sat looking at myself like, okay, you're 145 pounds. And I realized that's not big. But it's uncomfortable, and I couldn't move like I wanted to. So moving became very vital, and the transition in my head was like I was feeding my baby or whatever in the middle of the night. And saw this infomercial, Gunnar Peterson and his stability ball workout. Thank you, Gunnar. That was probably the first thing that actually, no, I started walking first, but I really wanted to take it to the next level. Like, I was walking 5 miles a day, pretty fast, and then I decided one day I would just start running, and I hated running, but I was running and I was going, wow, I'm running and I'm not getting out of breath like I did when I was in track, and my coach kept making me run the 1600, and I'm like, dude, I'm slow. Why are you making me do this? He's like, why do you think I'm making you do this? I'm like, 'cause you hate me? He goes, no, I don't hate you. I think he just wanted me to believe in myself. And when it came to track, I just felt so defeated when I would run across and I'd be holding my side because I'd get that cramp in my side like every time, and I would just be like, why am I doing this to myself? Because even as younger, I was a little chunky, and I always felt that I needed to fix those things. So track was one of the ways I did it. I was in marching band in high school. I felt like that was a big deal. I was never on like any sports teams other than the track. So I was more band, drama. I wanted to join choir, but I was too scared. I didn't think I could sing. I mean, I can sing, but I can't sing. You know what I'm saying? Like, they asked me if I could come back as something else in my next life, it would be to be able to sing. And if you know what I'm talking about like I want to sing like Pink, but myself. But I want to have that like just, I can belt out every feeling in a song type of voice. But always hated fitness. Always felt like it was just out there to torture me. And then I realized I could run. And I could run a pretty decent amount without feeling out of breath. And so then I started running. Did I start running before I started? No, I think I did the stability ball workout first. And I felt like I was getting stronger in my core, and I think that was a lot of the reason why I was able to run a little bit better. I did I did mostly 5Ks. I did one 8K. I haven't heard of one since. I think it's the Rudolph one. That was the first one I ever did, I think. But, and I like to run in the cooler months. I don't like to run in the summer. So, I'm very picky about when I run. But I transitioned into running, and then I was like, okay, where can I take this from here? Like, I feel like I need to get paid to work out because I'm doing it a lot. I'm paying attention to what I'm eating, and I'm realizing that I am seeing a difference, even though when you're the person that the transition is happening to, you think nothing is happening. And I can see why a lot of people get on the scale, but I found the scale to be defeating. And paying attention to the numbers is not something you want to focus on because mentally it will take you out of the game. Hands down. If you know how much you weigh and you check it all the time, you're just going to be so frustrated because you fluctuate. Everybody does. You have to weigh yourself at the same time every day, naked. They say in the morning it's best. After you pee, of course. And any other bodily functions you got to do. But, yeah, don't pay attention to the number. I always say, in your head, you have to know what's happening. You have to know your clothes are fitting different. You have to know you have more energy. You have to know you're sleeping better. You have to know you're waking up with less aches and pains that are hurtful and a little bit more aches and pains that are just productivity when it comes to exercise. And hopefully that you're doing it right, but and that it's not an injury, of course. But acknowledging what your body is telling you is such a big part of just knowing how to take care of yourself. Listening to what your body is saying, like if you're urinating a lot, there's a reason. If you're not urinating at all, there's a reason. You know, there is a time and a place for everything. If you're coughing constantly, there's a reason. Why just settle for the fact that, oh, this is what's going to happen to me? This is life. I just have to deal. And that's not how it works. I don't want people to think that. To have knowledge is to be able to, is to have power. We all know that that's a saying, I think. Knowledge is power. And that's true. If you know what is going on, you can adapt. And a lot of times it's subconsciously. Like, I never knew fitness was going to be anything to me. And it really was something that saved me from feeling bad about myself, saved me from depression. It is a big mood booster. And if you really are struggling with depression or anxiety, it's a good way to get out anxiety, but it's also a good way to handle depression. I used to run a lot because it is cathartic. It is something where you turn off your everyday life and you focus on the mechanics of what you're doing. So when you're running, you're trying to keep your body in a certain position. You're trying to, I gotta fly in here. You're trying to focus on your breathing. You're trying to focus on keeping yourself in a stable position where you know you're not going to wake up the next day and be all like, oh my God, I feel horrible. I never want to do that again. But it is also helps you to acknowledge things about your body. Like if you're starting to exercise and you still feel like crap, I'm going to say there's probably a food issue. I don't know if people pay attention to how they feel after they eat certain foods so that they can acknowledge, oh, you know what, I can't eat that anymore. It just doesn't like me. And a lot of people know what I mean by that. And people have different reactions to foods a lot as well. Like some people get indigestion or heartburn or acid reflux. You can also get hiccups or if you eat something hot, some people cough. So, like, understand that your system, right? You do a check on your computer to see why it's running slow, right? Why do we not do that for ourselves? Me included. Like, why don't we run a system of like, okay, this is a pain I haven't had before. What's going on with that? Doctor's appointments are always a good thing. I am not always a believer or proponent of prescription medication. I'm actually trying to get off my prescription medication. But it also helps you realize maybe it's not as dramatic as you think. You know, we are not doctors. So I'm going to say that for a fact. Nobody here, well, I shouldn't say nobody. I'm not a doctor, nor do I claim to be one. But I do claim to know that if you pay attention to your body and what it's telling you, signs and signals of reactions to things could prevent you from feeling like crap sometimes. Like maybe if you eat too much sugar or you eat a lot of bread. Everything in moderation. I know that's cliche. I do a lot of cliches, but I also feel like it means something more than people are just spewing it out of their mouth. Moderation to some people is excessive to me, and vice versa. Maybe they think I'm too chintzy. But I also feel like I want to save as much of my calories for good things that are going to help my system work better, to make my body feel better. So it's hard work. And being human is hard work. And we all have issues with certain parts of our body, parts we don't like. But we can all also acknowledge that we can get through it. We all transition to the other. We all make that 100%. If you just, we all have to remain calm. And frankly, I am the least calm person of anybody you know. I try to read the situation as much as possible, but then I'll just panic. And talking to you guys helps me. And believe it or not, it took me a long time to just be comfortable just standing here, saying things. And it is a hard thing to do, to put yourself out there, because people will read things into everything you say. And I really don't mean any other thing by it than to have you acknowledge yourself, to take care of yourself, to appreciate yourself, to give yourself a timeout. Go in a corner somewhere and read a book, or just sit in a bathtub. That's my timeout. That's what the little alarm was for. It's bath time. But it also is something that is cathartic to me. And baths can range from, oh, I'm not into this kind of thing and I'm just making myself more aggravated and will last about 10 minutes. Or I can sit there and think through every problem the world has ever had and stay in there for an hour to just accomplish, solving the world's problems. Having world peace, no hunger, those kinds of things. And I can sit there for forever, and I finally say to myself, you might want to get out. You might need to have a break. But it also is that time to refresh. And we all need to refresh and be mindful and take a step back and just breathe and know that just know your first reaction to things is not always the way you'll see it later on down the line. That transition to a more mature way of thinking, you may hold off the anger for a second. You might think it through for a little while. You might go, why am I really angry? Like, I have road rage. And I acknowledge that I am someone that needs to take a breath when I'm driving and say, that person doesn't care about me. And why am I still pissed at them 10 miles later for them cutting me off or what have you? And you just got to move on. You just got to say to yourself, okay, it happened. Apparently where they're going is more important right now, so let them through and be on here and have a happy day. Have a great life. I don't know. I just don't want to harp on things that don't, in the general scheme of things, in my daily life, I don't know that person. Why am I going to carry around that anger for the rest of the day? I mean, let's face it, road rage has ended in worse ways than just taking a deep breath. But that's what I'm saying to you. This part of my life is a sign that I am working towards something bigger, and I'm hoping more valuable to me. Something that says to me, I have this. It is something I know I feel strongly about and that I can accomplish. It's just taking the rejection a lot is hard. Losing properties and things like that's hard. Ideas that don't work, that's hard. But I just want you to know transitions are hard and life is hard. And if we all just give ourselves that time out, that moment to just breathe and assess, you'll realize that there is something coming. Like when I turned 38 and I said, oh, I'm all grown up now, I know what I want to be, and I become a personal trainer, and then it's like, okay, you're not done yet. Something in my head says, you need to work for yourself, and you need to understand everything that you've gone through and taken from every job to make sure that your employees are treated the best of any employees ever. Because I know how hard I worked and did not get anything. In fact, got treated pretty badly in some situations, and you carry that with you, but it's also a lesson to learn. It's also something that's hurtful, but it's like, okay, I'm going to go forward, I'm going to take that with me, and I'm going to know the next time that this happens that it's a lesson, right? It's a lesson. And I keep trying to tell myself that everything is a lesson. And thank God, because I am a learning whore. I'm very learning hungry. I want to educate myself, but I don't want the restriction of a normal classroom. If I had known there was homeschooling back in the day, woo, I don't know if I would have been better or worse. But I guess that's it for today. I've rambled on for 49 minutes. I guess that's enough. But I just want you guys to see that it's okay to have that process happening in your life. It really is. And I understand what people go through to get to the next level. I observe No, that's not the right word. I completely feel what you're going through. And especially if you hate your job, or you were let go during the pandemic, or you left I left because I was not comfortable with the way my career was headed. Ooh, I spilled all over. But that's not why everybody is leaving. But that is why some people are choosing to find different jobs, because they found that they liked working at home, or they found that their job is still working at home and they didn't like working at home. One or the other. But again, these transitions are happening everywhere, and we just need to learn to be patient with each other and know that deep down we all have this kind of internal struggle with where we're headed next. Especially if you realize now in this part of your life that there's movement. And if you are having this movement, you know what I'm saying. And if you're not having this movement, you don't know what I'm saying. But you will understand it the next time it happens, hopefully. Hopefully I'm your hindsight on this one. Because I feel pretty able to explain, what's happening. But I definitely can be more empathetic. That's right, I said empathetic. And, I mean, if you just talk to me, I'm pretty reasonable. I don't know how I got off the rails on that one. That might be cut out, but who knows? Anyway, I think we're done. I've rambled on, like I said, long enough. And I just want you to know, if you're going through a transition right now, I understand. I'm going through one also. And if you need to reach out, write in the comments down below. Send me a message through Instagram at The Best Blessed Life. And you can also follow me on Facebook at Kristen Haas. And I guess that's all I want to say for today. I want to thank you all for watching. Again, I can't thank you all enough for your support. And I appreciate you commenting and liking. And I guess the last thing I need to say is have a good day. Go do great things. Be your best self. And please live your best blessed life. Thanks for watching. Bye.